Alrighty, folks. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Adobe Live. I hope everyone has had a wonderful weekend, and you folks are ready to kind of dive back into the daily creative challenges. My name is Voodoo Val, for those of you who've never been here for these challenges or who have never met me before, and I'm going to be your instructor for the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge up through the end of this week. So I'm very excited about kind of what we're going to be diving into. Just a quick recap on what we have already completed, what we've already done for this challenge is basically we are designing not only a first series, because many of us have yet to post like our first project of the new year, but we're going to be creating a series of things that we love. We can choose whatever it is that we want. If you folks want to do like an illustration series, if you folks want to do a photography series, if you folks want to start creating letters in a font, whatever it is that you want to do, designing badges, designing logos, anything that you just really truly enjoy to design, let's start basically a series to post on our Behance. So we're starting a series. We've done a few things to kind of soup up and kind of revamp our Behance profiles for the new year. And we're also going to be going over designing and putting together a case study for Behance for this week. So I'm very excited about that. I know that a lot of you ask that question all the time. Well, how do I put together a case study? Well, I can promise you we're going to be going over it down to creating graphics to divide certain sections up of our case study down into, I'm actually going to pull up Behance and go through it and plug everything in where it goes and show you folks how I do case studies in my own portfolio. So Emma, it's good to see you, and I see so many other familiar faces in the chat. I see Frank and Ferry, Santos, James, AJ, it's good to see you, Andreas, Sam Peterson, welcome in, my friend. It's good to see all of you folks this morning, bright and early on a Monday morning. Monday morning for me, it is about 9 a.m. Pacific time in Northern California for me today, so I am, I'm up sort of early, not early, but early enough for me, early enough for me. I'd love to know where you're all from, where you're tuning in from, and what time it is for you, because that's always interesting to know. But yeah, so that is what we are working on for the Daily Creative Challenges, and I'm going to dive over real quick and kind of show you what we've already done and what we're going to do for today. So if you would like to go to the landing page where you can also check out all of the current challenges and things, you can head over to behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. You'll know you're in the right spot because I am working on January 4th to January 15th at the moment. If you're watching the archived VOD of this video in the future, first of all, hello from the past. Second of all, if you come to behance.net/challenge/Photoshop and you don't see these dates, it's probably because you're watching a much more past video of these challenges, and they already have the new challenges up. But all you have to do is scroll down here to the bottom and you can see all of the other past projects, past challenge segments down here. You can get the whole set for all of these dates, as well as all of the starter files and links to watch all of the videos. They're all archived here nice and neat for you, which is very convenient. So you may have to scroll down here and find January 4th to 15th for 2021. But anyways, so far what we have done is we created a personalized avatar first. We did like polished a selfie, retouched with tools in Lightroom and neural filters in Photoshop. We created a style guide, which is something that I've been kind of pulling from for this project throughout the duration of it, where we took everything basically that we were going to need for inspiration and reference for our series and for our Behance project, and put it into a style guide for ourselves. We created a social media template according to the themes in that style guide. We edited a template. So we made a template for social media, and then the next day we edited that template to make it look like the rest of our project, or what we want our project to look like. And then today we are starting a series. Today is the beginning of the series. You guys are probably wondering, like, okay, we've created all this stuff, but you did say, Val, we're going to start a series together. How are we going to do that? So you can see today says start a series inspired by the new year, begin a series of daily drawing, designing, or editing tasks. So this is a challenge that's like sort of up in the air. It's really up to you what you want to do. If you want to design a badge, that's what you're going to be doing today. If you want to do a painting, that's what you're going to be doing today. Whatever it is that you really truly love to do in design, this is a fun-filled project where you can literally just do what you love, what you want to do, and that is going to be your theme for your series. So you can come back every week or every couple of weeks and continue to make an installment of this and then upload it to the Behance project that we're going to be creating in a couple of days, and you'll basically have your very own long-running, frequently updated series that people are like waiting to see the next installment of on your Behance profile. And for many of us, it's going to be the very first thing that we do for this year, which I think is a pretty good way to start off 2021. So that is how you can get involved over there on the landing page. Another thing that I want to draw attention to right quick before we jump into what I have planned for the day is if you want to head over to the Discord, if you go to bit.ly/psdiscord, make sure that P and S are capitalized so you get to the right place. You can actually come and check out our Discord channel, which looks like this. This is the Discord, and basically everyone comes in here and posts in the current challenge tab, posts all of their wonderful designs and things that they have been creating. We've got some really great style guides in here. We've got some really great social media posts that people have been creating and working with, and you folks are doing such a great job. It's been really fun just to see like all the different takes on like these social media posts that people have and how folks are arranging little design elements and things like that. But I've really enjoyed seeing all of your work. I'm very proud of you. I think you guys have done a really wonderful job. These neuro filters were so much fun to work with, just kind of like embellishing a part of our portraits with these. They're really good. So yeah, thank you guys so much for posting in the Discord. I would go over it more thoroughly, and perhaps I will return to it after I'm finished with today's challenge, but I do want to make sure that I have time to do what I'm going to do, because I need to make an installment of my own series as well. So if you hit that get started button on challenge number 5, it will bring you to this this file. Again, it just says inspired by the new year, begin a series of daily drawing, designing, or editing tasks. And then I also added this could be an illustration series of paintings, badges, icons, even letters in a custom font, you decide. And I've given you a square file here, but depending on what exactly you are planning to do, it doesn't necessarily need to be a square file. You may start a completely different file, like I actually did, because I wanted different specifications, a different size to this entry in my series. So you may do something that's more of a landscape, you may do something that's more of a portrait, you may start a file with a bunch of artboards because maybe you're going to be doing a bunch of badges. Whatever it is, you can do that. What I'm going to be doing is something that I've dabbled in a little bit. As I mentioned to you, I'm going to be doing like a huge series of all of the main Animal Crossing villagers, because I've been really loving Animal Crossing lately, and I've done a few of them. You guys have probably seen I've posted. In fact, I can come over here to my style guide. This is my style guide that I created, and I have like the Animal Crossing stuff, and I have some cool color combinations that would be fun to use for some of the portraits. And I have this style that I've been working on, which is, this isn't an Animal Crossing character. This is a Krampus that I painted. But I do have this character here, and I do have these two characters from Animal Crossing and all of these. And what I did was I was drawing some characters, like other gamers, other players, existing characters. So that's what these two and these two are. And then this one and these two right here, diagonal from each other, these are characters from the game. So I'd like to do more that are specifically like reoccurring villagers from the game that everyone will recognize. And so I'm going to start with KK Slider, He's a smooth talking, jazzy dog, and I think he's wonderful. So we're going to do a KK Slider painting today. And I am going to jump back over to, I had my starter file open, but like I said, I made a new file. And I'm kind of Martha Stewarding you guys today because we are limited on time, but I have my lines for KK Slider. And I have like a head shape and all the face shapes kind of laid out for KK. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into something more like these. I've got a wonderful brush pack that does this like really fabulous brush texture in it, and it's actually the Keith Haring set, which if you would like to use the brushes that I'm going to be using today, all you have to do is, let me select my brush with B on my keyboard. Bring up your brush menu. This could be just by right-clicking on the canvas with your brush tool selected. Go up to the settings for that, and then down here say Get More Brushes. And what that will do is it will open up this page like so. And this is the Adobe page that basically has all of these wonderful brushes that they have released, brush packs that you can get. There's all sorts of wonderful things here that you can download. And I am using the Keith Haring inspired brushes right here. And so you can click the download and go ahead and download that. And I am using the brush called Vinyl Scraper. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to turn this onto a clipping mask. And now another trick that I like to do with clipping masks is I like to make an empty clipping mask over the top of a layer that I am basically clipping designs to. And then I like to make another one, and this one here, this second clipping mask in between the clipping mask and the main file, or the main layer that I'm clipping to, that is the one that I paint on. I leave this one empty because if you notice, if I select this clipping mask and I'm clipping whatever, I'm using my brush, and then I go Control Shift N, which is my go-to to create a new layer real quick, it makes a regular layer, but I probably will want it to be another clipping mask, and then I'll have to come over here, stop what I'm doing, create clipping mask. However, if I do that, where I have like one clipping mask sandwiched in between here, then whenever I go Control Shift N to make a new layer, it makes another clipping mask layer, because this one being up here tells it, no, we're still clipping to this bottom layer. So I like to do that. It just makes things a lot smoother and a lot easier. I'm going to grab some white, and I'm going to come in with this vinyl scraper brush, and I am going to kind of scribble around just to give this some interesting texture. Okay, and what I'm kind of aiming for here, for all of you illustrators, or for anyone who is not an illustrator and is looking to just kind of understand illustration and painting, what I'm doing is I've added some nice texture to him, which I think looks pretty cool. And then what I'm going to start to do is, as I go along adding different colors and shades, I'm going to try and start making him look like he is kind of sculpted in 3D rather than this flat plane of his face, right? So I have this white kind of laid down in here. I'm going to make another layer with Control Shift N. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to grab like a blue color. And I realize that KK Slider isn't blue, but I kind of like this idea of adding a bunch of other colors that maybe you're not used to seeing in a KK Slider image, and just kind of going for that. So I have this subtle blue, and I'm going to actually put this underneath that layer. So I'm just going to call this white, and I'm going to call this blue so I don't forget what's what. And I'm going to put this underneath all of the white that I just added. Just some subtle, very, very light blue. Just because I think it adds a little more kind of texture coolness to it. You can see like little blue spots kind of peeking through down here, and I rather like it. I think it actually looks pretty cool. It gives it a little bit of depth. So it got that going on. There we go. And I kind of want to put more on this side because I want less of this gray peeking through towards the side that I'm gonna, well, actually I'm gonna actually hide this because I originally had like kind of shadow lines hanging out there, but I think maybe I will shade from this other side. So yeah, I'm gonna fill it up over here. And then what I'm going to do is I might actually turn the lines down just to give myself some breathing room. And then I'm actually going to, for my own sanity, I'm going to paint bucket in just a soft color for the background so I can differentiate him from the background. Okay, now I'm going to make another layer, and I'm going to grab some yellow. And KK Slider isn't yellow either, but he's going to be sort of yellow today, sort of yellow and blue today. He's getting a makeover. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to just kind of dab some yellow and some blue around on here because I think that looks pretty snazzy. I think that looks pretty cool. So he's got his blues and his yellows in here, just kind of making him look a little more interesting than just like paint bucketing him in as like just a white color and then leaving it like that, all right? I'm gonna make another one, and in this one, I'm going to select kind of a bluish color, and I'm gonna see if we can make it a little darker. And I'm gonna come in around the edges now, and I'm gonna start shading this, okay? I'm bringing in some darker values here around the edges of him to try and make him look like he kind of like pops out, you know? So we have like the brighter right here in the center there, and then we have some darker around the edges. We'll do like around the edges of his little ears, his cute little ears. There we go. Maybe like right here too. Can come around the back of this ear. That looks pretty cool. And then as I start doing this, you can see he slowly starts looking less flat and more, you know, 3D. Okay, so we've got a little KK Slider head kind of popping out at us. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add like some stark white, like some serious white over the top here, just to bring in any more bright areas that I did want to keep that kind of got painted over. So let's do it here on this ear. Let's do it right here on this other ear, like so. And that's starting to look kind of cool. So he's more detailed, more like kind of painterly. I think that actually looks really, really neat. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do kind of a similar thing to the face shapes. So above the face shapes that I have in here, I'm going to make a, not a convert to smart object, I'm going to make a clipping mask and then make a new layer. And what I like to do here is, I realize KK Slider is black and white, but I like kind of changing up, you know, what he looks like, the colors I'm using. So I'm going to use a purple to kind of fill in the first initial lines here. I like this purple. I like kind of giving him a different vibe. And then I'm going to come in with like kind of a brighter color, and I'm gonna brighten his wonderful fleeky eyebrows. KK Slider knows how to shape and sculpt the brows, does he not? We're gonna do this. We're gonna give him a little bit of shine in his eye. We're gonna make it a little bit brighter. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna this is to give him more of like a 3D look, is instead of like adding this color into the nose again like that, is I'm only going to add it to this top here to try and give it an air of like the light on top of the nose is being caught, but not necessarily underneath on the bottom here, kind of make it look like it pops out. And then I will snag some much darker purple. How much time do we have left? Oh, we're doing good. We still have a few more minutes. And I'm going to come in under here with some of that black. Well, not quite black. It's more like a very, very dark purple. And I am going to kind of throw some in right here. There we go. Throw some in on the edges like so. And I think that looks really cool, you know, and it's not super hard to do because the line art, even though I didn't do the line art on stream because I wanted to have time to kind of show you guys all my process for this, even though they look kind of intricate, because if I come back to, you know, kind of show you these, they look sort of intricate, but really once you see how I do it, they're very, very easy to create. All you have to do is do the line art, and the line art is quite simple for this. I just really love doing it. Like, I love making these so much. I'm gonna maybe grab like a darker color here and do a little more shading. I love making these. I really do, and that's why I chose this for my project, for my series project, and that's what you should keep in mind when you make your choice for your project too, is it should be something that just like really makes your day to create. If you remember the questions that I asked you on the first day that we started this new round of DCCs is, why did you start designing in the first place? What, makes you happy to create? When you sit down to design something, what are you most looking forward to being able to create, having the opportunity to spend time on each day? You should choose that. You should choose something along those lines and do something that really makes your day. Because this is not only a series that you can keep up with, but this could be like the starter to your day every day. It's like, okay, I have other commissions or client work that I have to finish, but first I'm going to do an installation of my new 2021 series, kind of like warm myself up and get myself into the groove of creating and do something that I love to do. All right, so I got just a tiny bit more shading here. And the last thing I am gonna do is behind him. Actually, am I gonna take the lines off? Yeah, usually what I do is I remove the lines. And I remove the lines because I do like to keep, what's round grit look like? Yeah, I do like to not have it so that it continues to look like, I have the original liner on. I like to separate it, so I have lines every once in a while like this. I'm kind of separating the ears and things with a line, but around the edges there are no lines. And I like to do it this way because I think I think it looks better to do it that way. He doesn't actually need a lot of lines. In his face. He's not really a line kind of character. I might also turn this down. Oops, not that. I might turn this dark layer down. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So there's our KK slider. And then we've got just a few minutes left, so I'm going to add a texture to the background. Now, one thing is I've got like this blue background, but I noticed it's kind of hard to see the edges of him. So what I might do actually is take the paint bucket and experiment with throwing the purple actually looks kind of cool. The purple like shows the edges of him a lot better. So I might do purple, and then with my, let me hit B, with my vinyl scraper brush, I may come in and do something more like the dark. Let me just kind of scribble in and make myself a background. I think that would look nice. And then I'm going to top it all off in the last minute and a half I seem to have here. I'm going to top it all off. Let me turn that. I'm actually going to leave that dark. I'm going to leave that dark. I'm going to top it off. Oops. On the very top layer, make a new layer. I'm going to grab white, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to give him a little shine on his nose. Boop. I believe this is called booping the snoot when it comes to dogs. So we're going to boop the snoot, and I'm going to give him just a little bit of shine to kind of make his nose look like it pops out even more. And if I wanted to, I could actually do that on his eyes as well, but I don't know. Let me see. Maybe more like down here in the corner of his eye. Yeah, that could work. That could work. A little bit. There we go. We'll do it like that. And then he's already like pretty white, but I can add like kind of a more white here just to get the point across that like this is the shine right there. And the shine is also around the snout because I want it to look like his snout pops out, and I think that does. But there you have it. There's KK Slider. I think it looks pretty cool, to be perfectly honest. I'm actually proud of it. I do have to take off because I'm running out of time, but it has been a wonderful blast creating what is going to be the first installation of my series with you today, and I cannot wait to see what you folks share in the Discord for your own series. So thank you folks for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Adios, everyone. Much love and happy designing.